Good evening. Welcome back to the Celtic Way, the second of three broadcasts today. We were on live this morning for the morning briefing. We're on live pre-match and we'll be live post-match as well. I'm Tony Haggerty at Haggerty10 on the X or Twitter handle, and I'm delighted once again to be joined by Ryan McGinley at the Ryan McGinley, who's somewhere parked outside Parkhead or near the vicinity of. We need to tell you, it needs no introduction. It's Celtic v Bruges, Champions League, match day 5. The excitement's building. Ryan was supremely confident this morning. We spoke off air. Nothing has changed his mood. Ryan, you're excited for this one, aren't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day, as N'Golo Kante said in that famous video. Yep, I'm so excited for this game. Yeah, I'm delighted to be going over to the game tonight. I'm roughly a 15-minute walk from Celtic Park at the moment. Already you can see fans walking to the game. You know, it's over an hour until kickoff. It's going to be raucous. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be passionate. And I'm going to enjoy every minute of it and trying to capture as much of it as possible for all you guys. I just realised, Tony, I have not put the team up. We're so excited about the team, so excited about what's going to happen that I will just put up the team just now. Give me a wee second.
Briefly summarise, it's the same starting 11 that played against RB Leipzig, isn't it? Engels plays, Taylor plays, the rest kind of pick itself, don't they? Schmeichel, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Trusty, Greg Taylor, Ali Engels, Callum McGregor, Rio Tati, and Maida Furuhashi and Nicholas Kuhn up front. That's the team that did the damage against RB Leipzig, Ryan, in emphatic style. He's kept faith with those guys. Whether you think they deserve to be in the team or selection is neither here nor there. That's what the manager's gone with. I trust him implicitly, Ryan. I trust that group of players to deliver again. And as I say, we said this morning, if they can replicate that display against RB Leipzig, then we could be in for another special night.
Absolutely, that's got to be the barometer for Celtic tonight to match those levels that they did against RB Leipzig. I'll just read out the subs. So the subs on the bench tonight are Sinisalo, Scales, Palma, Ida, Bailly, Yang, McCowan, Nawrowski, Bernardo, Forrest, Ralston and Welsh. So there are options on the bench for Celtic to go with if the first 11 isn't working. I'll just read out the first team again since we didn't do it at the start there. I know you read it out there, but I want to just double check it. Kasper Schmeichel is in goals. It's a back four of Greg Taylor, Austin Trusty, Cameron Carter-Vickers and Alistair Johnson. Cal McGregor's the captain. He plays in the base of midfield alongside Arne Engels and Rio Tati just in front of him. And then you've got a front three of Daizen Maeda on the left, Nicholas Kuhn on the right and Kyogo Furuhashi up front. So yeah, it's the same team, Tony, that started against Hearts. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess. I think they played better in the second half than they did in the first, that's for sure. But yeah, I like this from the manager. I mean, the only real place of contention or position of contention would be on the Engels spot, but he was always going to play, wasn't he? As much as we wanted Paulo Bernardo to maybe start this game, he's got a job to do coming off the bench tonight after 65 minutes. Out of the two, between Hatate and Engels, whoever's tiredest will be coming off in place of Bernardo, and you know what you're going to get for those last half hour, plus injury time as well, if required. But yeah, it's a strong team. A lot of the positions, I'd say the vast majority of the positions pick themselves at the moment, and that's good because you know that players are in form and they're not in there just for the sake of it. They're in there because they deserve to be in there, and their form suggests that they should be starting games.
Continuity, Ryan, is one thing as well. That's an advantage Celtic have at this minute. And also, I think Arne Engels is there because he kind of has intimate knowledge of this team, having played for them and maybe passed that on. Brendan Rodgers touched upon that yesterday because he was asked about it. So, and listen, Arne Engels has produced his best displays in Europe in his Celtic career so far. So, I don't see any reason why he can't turn it on again tonight. And, domestically, you could say he's been found wanting past couple of games. But listen, that slate's wiped clean for tonight. He's got a job to do tonight. And if he performs like we know he can, then Celtic can be successful and get a priceless victory line that was moved them on to 10 points somewhere in the vicinity of qualifying for a possible playoff spot, or even Dreamland heading for the top 8. So we just hope that Celtic can produce on the night, but that team there, just have every faith in that team, Ryan, to perform.
Yeah, and it's full of players that are in form and deserving to be in that starting lineup, not just domestically, but in Europe as well. And the last time out in Europe, Nicholas Kuhn got a double, and he looked so dangerous for Celtic. Rio Tati deserves to be in that team. There's a couple of people that have put him in their team of the week for last week against Hearts. And I think that just goes to show you how well he did in the second half of that game to really turn it on when required. I think a point that's getting overlooked with Hatate is that he's finishing a lot more games now. It seems as if he has got the stamina now and the physical ability and know-how to play 90-minute football. Play 90 minutes of football. That is so important because we've seen him as a 60, 65-minute player. Tom Rogic before him was exactly the same in that regard, but he's now finishing games, and that makes him an even more useful cog in this machine. Because if he can play that and keep these levels going, he scored that third goal against Leipzig not later on in the second half, but it was round about the time that he would have been getting taken off last season, or maybe even the start of this season. So he deserves a lot of credit for being able to last the duration of games at the moment. And yeah, he's in there through merit, not just out of hope that you hope that he's going to go and do something magic. He's in that team because he has been producing bits of magic recently, and you just get the funny feeling that tonight could be one of those games for him again if he's given the service.
He was wonderful against Leipzig. He was unplayable, untouchable.
That was probably his best performance in a Celtic jersey for me.
Yeah, lots of people said that. So, as I say, anything resembling that display, then it could be a special European night, Ryan. They're always special, but that's the first time in a long time that a Celtic team really has lived up to its billing and claimed a top scalp at this level of European competition, and everybody was so excited by that. It's now what we've been speaking about in the morning briefings all week. We have to prove that we can replicate that and do it on a consistent basis. That's what it's all about. And I said that carrot of moving on to the 10-point mark after 5 games is there for the taking, Ryan. This team can do that.
They certainly can. They've shown it before. I look at the results in the Champions League this campaign, and out with the Borussia Dortmund result, which does look more and more like a freak result the more you look at it, and you look at the way that Dortmund have been playing, particularly domestically recently. That was a freak result. But if you're looking at the Celtics' consistency, they've been consistently good in Europe to start off this season. That good result against Slovan Bratislava, where they really did take that favourites tag and ran with it and really showed why they were favourites in the game. A different performance against Atalanta. There was a real negative slant towards Europe going into the third game of the season, which was understandable because they'd just been horsed 7-1 in the last game. Yeah. And then in a game that I think that Leipzig were slight favourites in, it was more 60-40 as I was talking about this morning. Celtic took that pressure and really ran with it and threw it right back in Leipzig's faces. But totally different performances. They've shown that versatility that they can do the defensive, the dirty work in games. They've shown that they can blow teams away with their goals. They've shown that they can beat better sides on paper than them with good bits of individual play and pressing ability. Tonight's a different one because I think it's a 50-50 game. I think it's on a knife edge, this one, between Celtic and Club Brugge. But that should suit Celtic because they'll go out home court advantage, but also they'll have that home advantage. They'll have the crowd on their side, but they'll also have a team that will give them chances. As Hamish was talking about this morning, they concede goals in clusters just like Celtic. If you're Celtic and Brendan Rodgers, you want your team to go and really prey on that weakness. If they concede an early goal, then they could concede 2 or 3, and then the balance is swung directly into your favour. So that's what Celtic should be going for tonight. If they can find weaknesses, then prey upon it and bully teams. It's not a tourist attraction, Celtic Park, anymore, even though I think it had been recently. it's now a fortress once again. It's now closed for business. It's purely business at Celtic Park now, and I want to see that come out from the team tonight.
Fighting talk. You're sticking with Club Brugge. I'll call them Bruges. I'm old money, as I said. Old European Cup stuff. That's just the elder statesman in me. Yeah, listen, I think that you're right. Celtic Park is now becoming a formidable place to play against the team again, and that's what you wanted all along. That's what Brendan Rodgers has wanted to bring. You know, he said himself that you want people to know, or every team in opposition to know, that when they come here, they're in a game. It hasn't been the case recently, Ryan. That's very true. But certainly from the Atletico Madrid game last season, it's starting to become the place that we all hoped it would be. And you have to use that advantage. There is no place like Celtic Park on a European night. We've banged on about it so often, and the crowd have to play their part tonight and stick with them, even if, in the case of the RB Leipzig game, they went a goal down, but it didn't seem to matter because the crowd were with them for the whole 90 minutes and beyond. And I think everybody recognised that when they got the goal just before half-time. Nicholas County put Celtic 2-1 ahead. The noise when that went in was absolutely incredible. It was amazing. So we just need a similar type performance from those players, Ryan. Again, we look to that attacking six, don't we? Or that middle to front six players. They're going to decide this game, Ryan. They will always decide a football match, and they for me are key tonight, because I trust the defence and I trust Kasper Schmeichel. It's what we do offensively that is always going to be key to winning the match, for me anyway.
Absolutely. You could even go as far to say it's a front eight with the way that the fullbacks play at times as well. I want them to do their defensive job first and foremost, but if they provide that overlap for the wingers such as Maeda and Kuhn, if Johnson and Taylor will go more inverted, Johnson will go as an overlapping fullback. If they can do that, then they can provide an extra bit of width. Now, the third goal for Celtic against Leipzig came directly from a good cross into the box from Alistair Johnson that the goalkeeper should have done better with. He put enough venom into the cross that it spilled and fell directly in front of Hatate. Don't buy a ticket, you don't win the lottery at the end of the day, and that's what Johnson did. Put in a ball, caused a problem, and then Hatate got on the end of it. It's a team game tonight, Tony. As much as we talk about individuals, it's that team. It's a team, and we're talking about a front six, and I completely agree. Those are going to be the players that are so important attacking wise. But all 11 have got to be at least a 7 out of 10 tonight for Celtic to get the 3 points that they want. If you look at the way the results are going at the moment, 10 points. I read it somewhere that it will give you a 67% chance or something like that of qualifying for the next stage. I won't rest until it's 100%. To be honest with you, I want Celtic to just get this done as soon as possible. If they do get the 10 points tonight and they record another famous victory in Europe against a good side like Club Brugge, then I hope they really lap up the praise and the adulation of the crowd. I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself because I know it's going to be a tough game, but I think there needs to be a lot of factors that go in Celtic's favour, and the fans are one of them as well. The fans need to stick with the players. I'm sure they will, because they'll feed off of that. And if it's a good atmosphere, as we expect it will be, then I think they'll get them over the line.
I said it in the last game, Ryan, that a lot of focus and attention was on RB Leipzig and the wonderful players they had and how technically gifted they were. You know, I ignored that. Celtic are a good team. You know, I'll take it even further. We're a bloody good football team, got to be honest, at this moment in time under Rodgers. And this is another chance to showcase how good we are at this level by claiming another scalp of a team who've had a decent European pedigree in the past few years. But no fear, Ryan, about this tonight. I don't look at Bruges and, you know, recoil in fear and think, oh no, that is. And I get that, you know, that it might be similar in terms of the way they've performed in Europe over the last years. Maybe Bruges have outperformed Celtic. There's an argument for that. But this team don't frighten me. And I think Celtic can frighten them. They've got the players to do it, and they've got the ingredients are right to do it. Get that crowd behind you. Go and get an early goal and see if they can withstand real pressure. And if they lose goals in clusters as they do, then make it a difficult night from them from the very off. And I think you could get joy that way, have to say.
Yeah, it's just got the team have just got to perform tonight. If there was one example that I would use, and it'd be the last game against RB Leipzig. If you're looking for German examples of how to do it and how not to do it, I realise that they're playing against a Belgian team tonight. Don't treat it like Borussia Mönchengladbach all those years ago, because I was feeling very similar. And Hamish was actually bringing up a couple of wounds that were very, very firmly
very raw.
healed. They were healed, but they were ripped back open because I was confident going into that game against Mönchengladbach, after the Man City result, feeling good about ourselves. And then it came back down to earth. I know they got a decent result away from home, a game that they should have won. But, it's these 50-50 games that can be difficult. Celtic just need to impose themselves on Club Brugge tonight. They've brought a sizable crowd. There's been pictures all over social media today of how many fans they've got in Glasgow at the moment, a tremendous turnout. And I think that shows you just how well they're supported as a team. But it's up to Celtic to bring that noise and the supporters to bring that noise as well. I'm sure they will. I'm already looking forward to hearing the Champions League anthem. I'm looking forward to hearing You'll Never Walk Alone. And I hope the players hear it as well, coming out onto that pitch. They hear the support and they know that they've got 60,000 fans or just under 60,000 fans backing them the whole way to get this job done tonight. It's all about those 11 men on the pitch and the 5 subs that potentially come off the bench tonight. But I believe in them, and I believe that they'll get the business done tonight.
Speaking of backing, 410 people joining us on the live stream before or pre-match. Thank you very much, guys. We never take it for granted. Amazing numbers joining in the pre-match or tuning into the pre-match in the last few games. Really do appreciate it. You're always there. You always turn up, and myself and Ryan couldn't ask for any more support than that. So appreciate it. Hopefully you'll join us for the after-match podcast, and hopefully we're smiling and grinning from ear to ear, Ryan. Don't care what time it's at. If it's a late one, we'll go right through the night. We don't care.
I love it that at the start of this podcast, you said there's going to be free broadcasts today. Now, I think that's pretty conservative with the timings. It might be tomorrow. There might be two shows tomorrow rather than 3 today. We'll see what happens. I'm not complaining either way. As long as Celtic get the result at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what time we come on, and we're sure that loads of you guys will be on as well. But we'll be on win, lose or draw after the match to dissect everything that's went on in the game. Let's just hope it's a good win, and we're all chirpy and cheerful after the game.
Yes, without a doubt. The excitement is building, Ryan. It's just got the feeling of a big, massive match, hasn't it? Hugely important for Celtic's qualification chances, whether that be the playoff or Dreamland in terms of possible automatic qualification for the last 16. But as they say, one game at a time. Bruges are our opponents tonight, and I just think, like RB Leipzig, Ryan, it's there for the taking. It really is. For me, it's, I know you say it's a 50-50 game, and I get that, but I think it's there for the taking for Celtic.
I think it's there for the taking for both sides, to be honest, and it's crazy to say that. I think it's just a 50-50 game. Although, if it's a 50-50 game and Celtic play the way that they did against RB Leipzig, then that makes them the favourites, because if Celtic play with that blood and thunder that we've seen before from the likes of Nicholas Kuhn, Kyogo, still waiting on this goal from Arne Engels, and I did sort of predict it after the Leipzig game. He's gonna score against his former team in Club Brugge tonight. I'm fingers crossed and I hope it's an outside the box or something, because he's threatened it a couple of times. That venomous shot that he's got. A lot of his penalties have been nicely tucked away. They've not really been hit with any pace or anything like that. But yeah, if he can get on the end of it and really make himself a hero tonight, I think that'd go a long way to dispel any of the sort of negativity surrounding him at the moment.
If you keep saying it, he'll do it at one point, Ryan. He has to do it at some point, doesn't he? You know what I mean? Pick a ball up from 25, 30 yards and scream one in. So yeah, listen, I don't think it's negativity per se, in the sense that I think the Celtic supporters just want more and expect more, because they know he has it in his locker, because he has performed on the stage. and did really well. So it's that inconsistency.
We know it's in there.
Yeah, correct. And nobody's disputing that it's not there, because his best 2 games have been Slovan Bratislava and RB Leipzig. And without a shadow of a doubt. And he did things in both of those games where you thought, this guy's a technically gifted footballer. But it's just I don't know what has happened in the kind of the domestic games. Just not did enough for me. But that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm watching. But the manager has given him the benefit of the doubt tonight, Ryan. He's given him the nod. He has to repay that faith in the manager by giving us a stellar display like Bratislava, like RB Leipzig, because it is there. It's there in abundance. And like you, I feel that this is maybe one that he's waited for to kickstart it all again for him, and I'm just hoping the two of us are enthusing over Engels later on tonight. I'm sure we will be. And here's hoping he does get the Predator boots on, Ryan. Swerve one in from distance.
He's got it in his locker. We just need to see it tonight. I think that's been the biggest disappointment, is that we know that he's got it in his locker. He's done it against RB Leipzig. He's done it against Slovan Bratislava. Who better to do it against than your former team? A team that you didn't even make a senior appearance for. You left in hunt in search of a regular first team football at the age of 19. He believed in himself, and he's got that big move to Celtic. Now it's all about going back to his former employers, akin to how Kuhn did it last time out against RB Leipzig. I want them to be haunted by their former. I want them to haunt their former employers, and if Engels can do that tonight, then there'll be no complaints. A couple of reunions tonight. Zolis for Club Brugge played with Adam Ida at Norwich for a season or 2. And also Brendan Rodgers managed Simon Mignolet when the 2 of them were at Liverpool. So there's plenty of reunions in the Champions League tonight for Celtic, Brendan Rodgers and Club Brugge.
Yep, lots of interesting subplots, isn't there, going on with the personnel. And it's always the same, isn't it? You get these games in the Champions League that throw up these kind of battles and stuff. And Brendan Rodgers mentioned Mignolet yesterday, didn't he? He was asked about him, and he spoke very highly of him, didn't he? He always speaks highly of people that he's had under his charge. So, yeah, but I think, like everything else, Brendan Rodgers will be hoping his men can make it a difficult night for Simon Mignolet. And when you've got the likes of Kuhn and Furuhashi and Hatate, McGregor and Engels and Maeda around, then you do find that hopefully they will make it a busy night for him. And here's hoping he's picking the ball out his net, Ryan, more than once.
Yeah, I hope he's a busy man tonight, and hopefully he's picking the ball out of his own net. Do you want to go on to predictions, Tony, quickly? Just because I realised that I knew that this was going to happen. We were both so excited about the game that we did talk on a wee bit.
You did a prediction.
We actually gave up.
You gave one this morning, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I'm going to stick with it. Actually, I'm going to remain consistent and say 4-2 Celtic tonight. I think there's going to be goals on both sides. I think it's going to be an absolute cracker. But I do believe that Celtic have more firepower than Club Brugge, and that will show tonight.
I'm going to go 1 down on both of them, Ryan, and say 3-1 Celtic.
Anyone will do tonight, Tony. I think that's the sort of Joseph in the technical dream coat. Anyone will do.
Anyone will do it, indeed. Howard Moon, 2 each, he's saying. Alan Robertson saying 2-1 to Celtic. And Square Sausage Mix saying 4-2 Celtic, agreeing with you, Ryan. I think a lot of people thinking there's going to be goals in it. Paul McLean saying 1-0 very late on, he reckons. Fair enough. Hazel Finn going along with me, she's saying 3-1. But most of them are all for Celtic. But Howard Moon's the only one tipping a draw at the minute. That's fair enough. And Alan Robertson saying anyone will do. Yep, indeed. Dennis Jameson, regular contributor, he's saying 3-2 Celtic. Yeah, people, Aero 250, 2-1 to Celtic. So there you go. It's lots of people being very positive, Ryan. And Bethany Webb saying 3-1 Celtic. And she's with me in the same that Bernardo hasn't got the nod. That's fair enough. And Francis grabbing along saying enjoy the game, everyone. My sentiments exactly. Francis and Squeak 1888 living up to his name, a nail biting 2-1. There you go. on that note, we'll let you go in and get settled, Ryan. Maybe do some video stuff for the YouTube site or the social media platforms. But thank you very much. Enjoy it, fella. I hope your team wins. Oh, Ryan has left us. There you go. Bit of a technical problem there, but never mind. Anyway, wherever you're watching the game, guys, tonight, here's hoping Celtic can replicate their RB Leipzig performance and move on to 10 points. We'll see you at some point later on, even if it's through the night and to the early hours in the morning. Myself and Ryan will be on at some point once all the work is done. Take care. It's always result dependent, I say that. And we shall see you later on this evening or in the hours of the morning. See you then. Enjoy.